Hi there, I'm Kathy Barker from Software Solutions and we're looking at creating visuals in Power BI. I now want to show you the scatter chart. Now the scatter chart is a great visualization when you have two sets of numerical data. You want to show one set of numerical data against your x-axis and one against your y-axis. And when there's a correlation or a connection between the values, that appears in your scatter chart. So let's do this. I want to create a new page and I'm going to double click and I want to name that page Sales Evolution. I'm then going to create a new text box and type Sales Evolution, press Ctrl A and increase the font size to 18. I want this page to look the same as my other pages, so I click a blank part of the report canvas and set the canvas background to white, 10% darker, click the 50% mark and then make it exactly 50%. Now what I want to do is add a scatter chart. So I go to my visualizations pane and this is my scatter chart visual. I click to add it to my page and then I just move it and resize it so it's nice and large for me to work with. What I now want to do is I want to grab from the fact order details the total sales and put that in the x-axis. So that's one set of numerical data is my total sales. I want to use my ship country, which is in my fact orders table, as my legend to explain things by the country. I also want to add ship country to my size, so this affects the size of the actual label. The other thing I want to do is I actually want to now add the year from the date table to my y-axis. No, actually to my play axis. Now by adding something to the play axis, you get this little panel across the bottom. So what this does is allow you to play how your sales have changed from country to country over the course of these 3 years. And so if I hit the play button, I can actually see how the sales have changed over time. But what I want to do is make it clearer. So I'm going to go to my format and I'm going to turn on my category label. So now I can actually see the country appear actually on the scatter chart. I also want to narrow down the number of countries I can see. So I'm going to my filters pane and I'm going to ship country and I'm going to actually change it from basic filter to top N. I want to see my top 20, so I'll type 20 in here. I'll also grab the ship country and add it to the by value field and I'll apply the filter. My legend is just narrowed down to 20 of the top countries. I might actually change it to 15 and apply that filter and it'll narrow it down even further. Now what I want to do is click the play button and I can watch how the sales have changed by country over the years. And if I actually clicked on 2020, this was the sales situation. The larger the bubble, the larger the amount of sales and also the further to the right across the scale, the larger the sales. So in 2020, the largest sales was to the country USA, followed by Germany at 112, followed by France at 40,000. So quite a big gap between 112,000 and 40,000. If I go back to 1999 by clicking on it, then Germany was actually in the lead by 35,000 and the US was trailing at 31 and France was 17. But if I click in 2021, I can see the US went up to 104, Germany trailed at 96, and France fell all the way back, is actually hidden there. France fell all the way back and was 27,000. So you can hit the play button to play the changes. You can click a particular year and see what the changes were that year. But what if I also want to see the changes by month? I'm going to click this chevron and cancel and collapse that filter. I'm going to go back to build visual, and where I've got year as my play axis, I'm actually going to change the play axis to month and year. So I'm going to take out year, cross that, go to my dim date, month and year. I'm going to add that to my play axis. So now I can say this is August, this is September, this is October, November, December, January, February, March for each one. And if I now play that, I can see how things changed over the course of months and years. I can pause at any time, and I can click on any particular year and month if I want to know what the situation was at that particular year and month. And just rest on the bubbles to get some intel. So that is a scatter chart. That is the play option, but it's also filtering it down to the top 15, or I could change it to the top 5. Maybe I want to see the top 5 countries apply the filter and how they reacted. So I'll play that. And so I can see USA went out into the lead. The UK came up a few times. Then there was a big leap, and I might even pause it at that point. And I can see how things transitioned over time. All right, so that's a scatter chart. Come back for the next video and I'll show you decomposition trees.